For more than a decade, the BGK family has been a champion of dreams. It's the dreams of those who work for a better tomorrow that drive us to reach our greatest potential. We are here to support our kingdom partners, their families, their ministries, and our communities.
BGK 24/7 Online Christian TV Network. Making what was once impossible, possible.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of In View with Sam and DiNardo. I am Sam Wijiakuma, and we're here today to talk more about awareness of human trafficking, and I'm with DiNardo.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. DiNardo Ramos, and you know what? We just want to talk about one of the most favorite times of the year to pretty much everyone, but it's also the time of year that has the most impact.
Yep, it's the holidays, folks, and it's a wonderful time for many with the ability to share time with family and, really enjoy themselves. But it's also a time of suicide. It's also a time of trafficking. And these things are actually interrelated. What we see a lot, and was certainly my story, is that, you know, at these times, people feel more lonely than ever before. And so the chances of committing suicide, particularly for males who are caught in trafficking, is actually a lot higher at this time of year. In fact, suicide's higher in general. And it's something that we all need to be aware of, because while the holidays are often, happy and bright for most of us, for some folks out there, it's definitely a time of deep stress. And it's important to remember that survivors are being trafficked through the holidays. Many of you know that, and we've talked about this in previous shows, that the week of Thanksgiving is actually National Porn Week. And now that we're through that and we're almost to Christmas, you'll find that the holidays still have quite a lot of uptick in the viewing of pornography, as well as the amount of trafficking that's occurring. And a lot of our survivors are separated from their families, they're separated from their children, they're separated and isolated on purpose, making this season much more destructive to them and to that which they need to deal with.
But at the same time, they also want to buy gifts, because in their minds, they're still wanting to do something nice for those with whom they feel they have a connection, those with whom they love, and they have cherished memories, if you will, with these newfound relations. And so they're in need of money, and that makes them even more vulnerable during this time, because they don't have any other way of earning any type of money, because they are entrapped within this web of trafficking. And so they only have one alternative, and that is to do what they're told.
And it's a tough time, too, for those who are family members of victims of trafficking, right? They don't know where their kids are, or their sisters are, or their brothers are. They just know that they have been taken, or that they've seen their ads online and know that they're being trafficked, but they don't know how to find them or contact them. Or in some cases, they have no news at all, making it a really tough time for parents and loved ones of those being trafficked. And it's a tough season, folks, and this is what we want to talk to you about today. Some of the things that you can do in your community to make the holidays merrier and brighter for those being trafficked. And also ways that you can talk to folks about where they can get support. So, we do obviously do extraction during the holidays and help folks that want to get to safety. But we also find that it's a time that people want other services, right? Like parents to cope with the situation. And parenting's hard if you have a child who's been trafficked or who is currently being trafficked because the level of trauma that they have is extreme. And trauma informed care of your loved ones is one of the things that is really important to do around the holidays. And Denaro has a lot of experience with the, trauma informed care. So he's going to give you some tips that you can use in your families. And this is for all trauma, not just human trafficking trauma, but things that you can think about in how you can be trauma informed when you are working with your families.
Well, the number one thing we have to remember is that trafficking happens in any family, in any community. There is no specific to it. And so every family handles things differently, from the point of denying that it is happening, or even not really realizing or understanding how it could happen or how the person could allow this to happen, even without the family member realize that the person, in more instances than not, has had no control whatsoever in the matter. Part of the informed care is to approach it from the side of your loved one, your family member. How is my response going to affect them? We don't come at them in the negative. It is always the positive. How may I assist you? What can I do to help you? What can I do to make you comfortable? What can we do? What can we talk about whereas it doesn't bring up any trauma for you? And so many times the family members want to know all of the ins and the outs of how it occurred, why it occurred, where it occurred. When every time the person tells this story, it's them reliving this trauma over and over and over again. For you as the family member, it's your first time, maybe your second time. I'll be nice, maybe even your third. So if you're hearing it for 3 times tops, this family member, this survivor has told this story so many times already until they wish they could forget it. So part of this not causing them any trauma. For an example, if you have to go to law enforcement with your loved one of the things to do is to be a protector for your loved one. That doesn't mean that law enforcement is out to harm them in any way. That's not what I'm saying. But there are times when they'll have to retell their story multiple times to different individuals. You must stand in the gap for them and begin to be mindful of what effect this is having on them and saying, you know what, do we have to tell this story again right now? Can we do this a different time? Another way to even take advantage of it ahead of time, who all needs to hear this story? Let's tell this story one time, so that we don't have to tell it again. Even in the hospital, if you have to go because the person has been assaulted or they've been injured in some type of way, again, when they're having to be examined, who's in the room, how many are in the room, how many people are asking her to unrobe, being mindful of those types of things, because the whole point of informed care is not causing more trauma and not having that trauma to be repeated over and over again.
And childhood ACEs, which are, adverse childhood experiences, are one of the key ways in which the prerequisites sort of occur to cause trafficking. So, unfortunately, large family events can sometimes lead to difficult circumstances that we often don't want to talk about, right? So, for example, molestation within the family unit by other family members. And, many of you might have watched the Aretha Franklin movie recently, Respect, where, her dad was having a party at his house and someone at the party abused her and actually caused her to become pregnant. Now, if you think that that only happened to Aretha Franklin, then we need to talk a little bit more about, what this looks like in the world today, because it's not a situation that's just particular to her family. It's just that she's someone who's famous, who's talked about this now. And we need to talk about it more, making sure that we are keeping our kids safe during the holidays is really important. So what might that look like? Well, for example, if, your son Timmy doesn't want to hug grandpa because, that's not working for him, there might be a reason for that, folks. Or, it doesn't have to be grandpa, could be grandma, could be Uncle Billy, could be whoever. But at the end of the day, we've got to teach our kids that they can choose boundaries for themselves. And particularly around the holidays, it's important that we enforce those boundaries and allow them to choose them, and that we are helping our kids understand that it's their bodies, their choice. Because the more that we say, well, Timmy, you gotta hug grandma because she really wants one, the less that we are helping them to say no when people are asking to go across boundaries that they don't want to cross, right? And
Even if that means hurting grandma's feelings.
yes, even
Yeah.
if it means hurting grandma's feelings, we have to be really good with this, right? And it is really important that we protect the kids in our lives. And unfortunately, being that molestation and rape and other forms of sexual abuse are one of the ways in which people end up trafficked, or at least a significant portion of survivors that we see have had some form of sexual trauma before they ended up trafficked. It's really important to avoid these things, especially around the holidays, because we have a lot of family that's around, often staying with us or staying near us. There's a lot of parties going on, and the chances of something going wrong are higher than you think. So, what we want to do is make sure that you guys can see the signs. The second sign to look for and immediately do something about is if after the holidays, any of your kids are behaving in any sort of different way. They're more emotional, they are having challenges, they don't want to eat, they don't want to drink, they maybe don't want to come out of their rooms. This is the time to, start intervention, folks. And that can start with the family doctor, or, your local sort of youth and family services. Um, there's lots of free options out there to get help. And you can call us on our hotline, 1-833-4-NEW-DAY, and we will happily point you at the resources that are available, because it is really important that we treat any trauma that happens immediately to avoid that trauma being sort of suppressed and then coming out later in much worse ways, like alcoholism or drug addiction, or ending up in prostitution, or even worse, being willing to be groomed because they can't find a place of acceptance, because the trauma that's occurred is greater than what they're able to really process through, right?
So what we do around the holidays, we not only do more extractions and outreach, but we also provide gifts and care packages to the victims, because these are things that they're in need of. These are their realities. This is their Christmas. This is what they're not getting. In previous shows, we've discussed how the the victim is not allowed to eat or to shop or to do anything until a certain amount of money has been brought in. Well, these are some of the basics that we take for granted that she's in need of. And so we give out these packages as a way to let her know that she is loved, that someone is thinking about her, and that there is a way out.
And it is really important that people feel this through the holidays, but also that they're able to recognize the potential signs of grooming that might be happening. And what we want to do today is take you out to a video that was produced by Liam Neeson this year with the help of It's a Penalty and a variety of other organizations, including ourselves and A21 and several others, so that you too can recognize the signs, and be able to see them during this holiday season as you're close to your families. So that video will be coming up here in just a second. Folks, those signs are really important. And if you want to see that video again, you can go to our website, www.rahabsdaughters.org, and it's on the under the prevention tab on the Know the Signs page. So if you would like to share that with your families, please do. As in this season, it's important that we are equipping our families with ways to understand what's happening and that we're able to talk about what those signs might be so they can recognize them in their kids or their friends or their sisters or brothers, so that it makes us aware to ask the right questions in this season. Re-traumatization is also something that we need to consider. And so if you guys need help with what questions to ask, then do please reach out, because we're definitely wanting to help. Providing love at this point to folks during the holidays is really, really important. And because trafficking is occurring everywhere in the world today, including in your backyard, it's really important that we band together to talk about this issue. And just a few more days, it'll be January 1st. And January is National Month Against Human Trafficking, and we hope that you'll be tuning in to learn more about human trafficking and how to stop it in your neighborhoods. We'll be certainly live January 1st talking about that. But between now and then, in this holiday season, if you know of somebody who might need help, please let us know. And if you haven't finished your Christmas shopping, folks, then we have some very interesting options to help you Christmas shop. First and foremost, you can give a donation in the name of somebody to our, organization on our website, rahabsdaughters.org. Or more importantly, if you want to do something with your friends and family while educating them, then it would be amazing if you join our charity golf event. Our golf event will be happening in Tampa and in Schaumburg, Illinois at Top Golf. And this will support our mission trip that's up and coming, but will also help us support survivors. And, you are able to assist by giving us donations or attending the event or having your company sponsor the event. All these are amazing ways that you can, help make everybody's Christmas a little better. We will be out and about this weekend and into next week delivering Christmas gifts to kids whose parents have been trafficked or kids who've been trafficked, as well as to our young families that we keep together. For those of you who don't know, we at Rahab's Daughters, really do try our best to keep moms and kids together and put them into family units such that they can continue treatment together. Given that 83% of kids born into moms who are involved in prostitution will be trafficked themselves, it is really important that we're able to reach out and offer some love and support in this season. And if you want to help with that, then please, go to our website. We've been collecting shoes and coats and hygiene supplies, and we'll be handing these out along with toys and food. So if you would like to assist us, please let us know. More than anything, we want to remind people that in this season, there's a reason that love arrived. And because, they were loved so much, God was born to help us to be saved. And we want to share that love with our folks who are going through some pretty rough seasons at this time.
And so that's why I really appreciate when we go out and we give them gifts, because it's not just about giving them the gift. It's not just about taking them the present, but it's about that communication with them. And that's really huge for us. And I believe it's huge for them because they're being spoken to and they're being given something where they can maintain their dignity. They're another human being. They're not being taken advantage of. And because of you and your giving and your free heart, is that possible?
Yeah. I mean, it is the season of giving, folks. And we at Rahab's Daughters really believe that what we can give most is some time, right, to help these young ladies. But in order to help them, we obviously need all of you supporting us in the background through volunteering, or donating, or providing whatever skill set you have. And in this season, as you're trying to think about, well, how can I give? I'm not really sure that I have the skill set to volunteer. Reach out to us anyway, because believe it or not, we need all skill sets. We need everything from people who are, good moms who can create a nice atmosphere for folks to be mentored in, to marketing folks, to, folks who enjoy doing graphic design, to data scientists. I mean, we need data scientists more and more every day. If you are a software person, and you would like to do some development for us, we do a lot of our detection work online and need plenty of help with software. If you're someone who's really good with customer relationship management systems, we need help with ours. If you're somebody who is good at finance, our accounting team could really use your help. If you're somebody who is good at HR, we could definitely use your help as we work through people development, things, and help survivors work towards getting a job and standing on their own 2 feet. There's really no skill set that you have that we can't use, right? So if you are wondering, well, I'm not really equipped to go out in the field and do rescue, please don't think that that's the only form of volunteerism. In fact, there's something for everyone, because what we do affects everyone and every industry, right? We have trafficking occurring in the hospitality industry, we have trafficking occurring in the construction industry, in the beauty industry, in the carnival, forestry, and so much more. And we'll have upcoming segments around these different industries so that you can learn a little bit more about that. But in this Christmas season, what we want you to remember is that it's the season for giving, and we need people to give of their time, their talent, and their resources so we can continue to do the work that we do. It's just last week we were able to bring in a young lady. A hospital called us, and basically asked us to come and pick her up. She's barely turned 18. She was living at home with her dad, who served in the military, and he was a very safe place for her. But unfortunately, he passed away. And when he passed away, she was sent to live with her mom and her mom's boyfriend. Her mom's boyfriend tried to rape her and her sister. And so she ran away to come and live with her uncle. But her uncle sold her and her sister to be gang raped for some crack. And that's how she ended up with us. Now, the sister was unfortunately raped. She was lucky enough to not be raped, but was forced to do things on OnlyFans to earn money for the uncle to be able to afford his drug habit and his alcohol habit. And, thankfully, she's now in our care in a safe place, and her sister's with a different agency that can better handle the trauma of the rape. But what we need from you is the ability to show these women some love in the season, because they're without their families right now. They're 18 and 19 years old. And while they have amazing dreams of going to school and going off to college, we still need to be able to help them understand that love is the reason for the season. And how can we show them that love and that grace is where we need your help, so that we're able to continue to have staff running 24/7 to be able to help in this season and really provide meals and food baskets and hampers and clothing and all of those basic needs that these young ladies need, including medication, folks. Because in this season, with the amount of depression and the just vast amount of trauma that they have faced, we have to buy quite a bit of mental health medication, which for the uninsured can be quite expensive, sometimes $300 in medication or more. And these are the sorts of things that you have the power to help us resolve. So we look forward to, hearing from you and understanding what it is that you would like to do to give in this season, whether that's monetarily of your time or of your talents. And we would very much like to, have you continue to tune in to this wonderful internet TV platform at the bgknetwork.org. Our next episode will air January 1st, and it will be all about trafficking. So, with a happy new year on the way, let's make the most of this giving season. If you haven't given everything that you want to give before that, then please, tune into our year-end fund and give at www.rahabsdaughters.org.
And if you'd like to get further information, just check out our organization's website at, again, rahabsdaughters.org. That's rahabsdaughters.org.
And you can tune in again at the bgknetwork.org if you missed this episode and want to hear some more, if you've missed other episodes. And of course, our social media is up and available. We are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So please follow us there, where you'll be able to also sign up for our newsletter. Our newsletter comes out a couple times a month and will tell you our most immediate needs as well as what we've been up to. So again, you can go to our website, rahabsdaughters.org, and click on sign up for our newsletter, and we'll look forward to interacting with you. Thank you all so much for tuning in today, and we look forward to you and your family having an amazingly blessed holiday season.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. See you next time.
I'm Liam Neeson. Human trafficking is the fastest growing illegal global business, generating $150 billion each year. It is the second largest criminal industry in the world. Almost 25 million people are trafficked each year, and 1 in 4 victims are under the age of 18. Most of us would imagine that human trafficking involves someone being kidnapped, moved across borders, and exploited by strangers. This can be the case, but most people are trafficked within their own countries and cities, and coerced into exploitation, often by people they know. During high-profile events and major sporting events, with the influx of hundreds and thousands of people into the hosting cities, exploitation can increase. People are trafficked for forced labor and sexual exploitation, regardless of age, background, or location. Traffickers may threaten their victims with violence or blackmail, take advantage of their vulnerability, or promise an opportunity for a better life in order to control them. Here are some of the signs to look out for. Victims may be easily startled, agitated, or afraid, unsure of where they are or lack official ID, unable to explain injuries or possessions, may have strange markings, brandings, tattoos, have unexplained hotel use, be accompanied by a suspicious companion. Children can be dressed up to look older than they are. If you're watching this and you are being exploited, or you think you have seen something, then say something. Join our campaign. Together we can end exploitation and human trafficking. Thank you.